Okay, so the bottom side targets we spoke of in last night's thread of analysis worked out like a charm. A new formation has popped into light and it may be signaling a continuation to the upside. Of course, we have to validate that as the downside the asset has faced has shocked momentum to an overall downtrend. Welcome back to the channel on this happy Monday. This is ARCa and let's dive into ticker symbol FNGR. What is up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and dive in to ticker symbol FNGR. And what you're observing here is actually, well, why don't we start off right over here actually first, right? So please notice that these were the targets and the range that we spoke of last night. Very dangerous targets to get into and very impressive upside from these targets, right? So we spoke of an overall support range of 419 to 442 and with a focus range of 425 to 435, and we ended up getting right down to that 425 level before bouncing to, I mean, eventually, I think it was at one point, I think it was actually a pretty 16%. No, it was actually, let's see. Yeah, about 13. Damn. Could it be right? Damn, around 13. Yeah, around 13.5% jump from that bottom side. Very impressive times there, right, team? So yeah, these were the supports that we were talking about. I know that we have some danger present here, but I will have to show you a continuation formation, right? And I think we may have reacquired that. So now, before we actually do that, team, I do have to give a very, very special shout out here. As I did finish the grading for our Track 2 Master students, and I would like for you to actually give a quick look here, as this is actually Discord member Powder Slave, and he actually came in with the only perfect score in the out of the exams that came out, right? So I definitely had people over 100% too, right? But this particular score was so impressive, I had to go ahead and give it some light. Just like I did my previous master student for track 1, Johnny Barnes, giving us a perfect score as well, right? So now I have 2 master students right now with 2 perfect scores, and I just wanted to extend a huge salute, right, to Powder Slave, and congratulations to you, and you will be receiving some very cool gifts from me, team. So a track, just to kind of put it out there, team. Track number 3 now, students have already started on this last Saturday. Okay, so I am getting still emails regarding a continuation of the course, right? So I'm already looking at around 9 potential people on a waiting list. And if you are interested in that, please go ahead and reach out to me at arcmasterscourse@gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and pass you the syllabus, the disclaimer, and everything pertinent to that. So let's see how much attention we can get into a potential track 4, and we will continue that, right? So as soon as we do have that roster filled, we can start it in tandem alongside a track 3, right? So please go ahead and send me an email whenever you are ready, and I'll go ahead and share those details with you, okay, team? So let's go ahead and move on to the next chart now. Okay, so this is the manipulation chart that we've actually been forward testing for quite some time now, and this was actually Friday's price action. We spoke about no manipulation there, right? But today we definitely got 2 strikes of manipulation down here, one of which sent price action from 438 down to 425, and another of which was manipulated towards the upside. So a very interesting set of manipulation signals here that that essentially sent price action to an upside, right? So as the algorithm is set to identify manipulation for an upside or downside. And I must say that the upsides are very rare, but we definitely got one today, right? So I think this was, one of the reasons why we were able to face that bounce from 425 all the way to up to about $4.80, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, about a high of 480. right? So very impressive times there. Now, I want to go ahead and go over this formation that popped up, right? So Danielle Spears in the live chat of YouTube, she asked me, is FNGR ever going to come back to the $6 area? And you said, and I told her, you know what? Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the macro picture of FNGR, right? It's not like we haven't done this before. I just wanted to see what's happening in the price action. So from the price action that we faced on the weekly closure of last week, we actually touched down at a very particular zone. That low of 449 happens to be a perfect regression from the low of this candle here from August. And that low is actually a 396. So that regression here marked off a perfect second support grab. And this down here is what we just faced at 425 today. And we actually recovered going up to that area of about 480. We did speak about potential targets like that in previous charts too, right? Specifically this one here actually had around 488, but still you definitely looked at these targets nonetheless, right? So if we're going to continue speculating here, then reacquiring the inside of this formation here could have identified, or we could have distinguished this downside here as a potential liquidity trap of sorts, right? We are in a macro time frame here, so weekly time frame could have suggested a potential bear trap as well. Seeing that price action may have reached all the way down here to that 396 where a lot of people were talking about, right? But instead, we got a bounce from that 425 and immediately ripped to 480. So right when you have certain people get bearish and start saying, I told you this, I told you that, the asset gets a huge bounce to the upside. It's important for the analysts to not react when the downside is happening, right? So as it's it's not the way to do things, right? So anyway, right? So at this point, let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here, because there could be a continuation to the upside, and that upside could be the $5 zone, right? So weekly time frame, EMA 21, located right at that $5 mark, and I do think that there could be a break of that, right? But please remember that $5 mark is a psychological target as well. As long as people believe it to be a psychological target, there will be some type of a pullback from that zone before continuing on to the upside if it does choose to do so. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next chart here. And I would like to actually point out something very important here. This is the 5-day chart. And you can see here that in 1 day, 18 hours, which could be at the end of the trading session on Wednesday, this candle would essentially print a very, very attractive looking hammer candle after a downside, which could indicate, or which could show us the potential of a continuation to the upside. We shall see, though. Okay, I just want to go ahead and point it out right now that it is pertinent and it is in play. One more thing actually that I needed to talk to you about on the previous time frame is that we are trading, or price action is trading, above the weekly time frame SMA 200. Massive moving average here, team. And us facing that bounce from that SMA 200, and eventually getting very close to that EMA 55 on the weekly. Very bullish bounce there, okay, team? So I'm not sure that people were paying attention to their SMA 200 on a weekly time frame. Very, very tough for price action to get over. Okay, so please notice here that we broke outside. The SMA 200 is represented by this purple line. Broke above this SMA 200. We came back and validated it upside, right? We came back and touched it again, upside. We came back and touched it again, upside. We're touching it again. So we're going to, I guess historically speaking, that could be a continuation to the upside, right? Similar here. We came back and tested it and then upside, right? So, and got a newer high, right, to $9.80 from that point there. And same situation here, right? So we got that upside. It could, the SMA 200 is only existing as far as March 22nd here on the weekly time frame of 2021. So we came all the way back down and validated that SMA 200 as a support, and then bam, a massive upside here from that bottom side, or opening of 472 to about 925, right? So that 472 is very curious. Sorry, actually, was it 472? No, that was 432, right around there. Yeah, 432. Got it. Right. Yeah, never mind. So, yeah, we got that nice upside there. And yeah, so historically speaking, it looks like we've supported from that SMA 200 for some pretty massive upsides following it, right? So, on the weekly time frame, and we're kind of getting that again already, right? So, please bear in mind that this candle here, opened at about 423 and then over the span of a week just continued onwards and upwards. And please notice here that this candle very similarly doing that same thing, and we have 3 days and 18 hours still to close it, right? I'm not trying to be a permable. I just want to make sure that we can kind of highlight the very important nuances presented here, right? So, but yeah, hammer candle here on the 5-day time frame, and also the 5-day time frame getting a very nice bounce from that SMA 200. So very bullish times here, team. Okay, so let's see if we can actually continue this pressure to the upside. But if we're looking at the 5-day time frame, there is, of course, a resistance here at the EMA 21, which is just shy of the $5 mark, but 491 could be another area for us to look at. Okay, so and now following that in the linear regression channel on the daily time frame, we closed. We bounced from the bottom side of the linear regression channel and bounced to the upside. So this now makes me feel that, like, sure, there could be a continuation to the upside. And if we were to face a resistance from the linear regression channel, which is not always perfect, but this is suggesting a potential $5.18 top. So now we have a resistance range to look for. Since we spoke of that $5 mark, we can go ahead and take into consideration the 518 and make it a range. Okay, so now we can observe other potential targets. We can always get closer by focusing the target, but we're not there yet. Let's just go ahead and move on to the next chart and see what's good. So this 30-minute time frame is another channel that actually popped up to me during the actually when I was analyzing the thread just about an hour ago. So this is it's looking like we could be prepping for a potential breakout here, right? So, and if that breakout is in fact what's happening, then take a trend line from the top side of the formation all the way to the bottom side and apply it to the breakout point, to where you have the first candle without any exposure to touching that support or any exposure to the inside of the formation. So it would be this candle here, right? And the top side target to be faced here is 505. So guess what? We now have a potential few targets to look at, right? So let's take into consideration an overall fib range high to range low, right? So if we are looking at price action here, take a look at the one spot 272 at 499. Very, very likely for price action to reach some targets like that, right? And I want to remind you that that target is not a mystery to us. Check it out. We've already been looking at that range for quite some time. We spoke about a 505 down here at the price, at the psychological price objective. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Hans, go, buddy, go. Oh my goodness, dude, you are farting so bad. Wow. Go, boy, go. I think you need to go to the bathroom and see what's up with you. See what's up with your sister. Go. Wow. My goodness in heaven. Anyway, so, oh, dude. Woo! That guy just came in short. He shorted me. Bro, I can't even talk. Wow. Oh my goodness, you guys. I apologize about that. I'm so happy that you're not able to smell that, because wow. This guy he laid wrath. It was unforgiving. It was relentless chaos. My goodness. Anyway, so I have to give it to the guy. Salute. All right. So anyway, right. So we were already talking about these targets in the first place anyway, right? So we had a $5 to $5.05, and now it looks like our discretionary target that we used as a take profit zone from this what was a dead cat bounce came down to the area of about 499 to 506, right? So all of these targets are definitely rhyming here, so I would have to give it some credibility. And now we know that 522 is the overall range, since we're looking at a 518 top anyway, right? So now we can go ahead and come back. Actually, you know what? Let's just take it here. The 30-minute time frame would be a better time frame for us to observe, since it is a micro, right? So 518 would actually convert itself into the one spot 618 522. The $5 mark would actually turn itself into the 499 of the one spot 272. And we have a concentrated level of 505 or 506. Okay, so looking pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and now move on to the next chart as we are looking okay, right? So yeah, the daily time frame RSI could be giving. Well, I mean, it still hasn't read what happened in the after hours because in the app, actually, let me see. Actually, in the after hours, it kind of consolidated, printed a doji. It's an indecision, right? So let's go ahead and now take a look at the next chart, right? Let me see if we have anything there. Right. So yeah, man, look at the Bollinger Bands. I mean, we came back and bounced right off of that, right? So that was a 422 bottom that we spoke of yesterday. Ended up getting that 425 and upside continuation from there it was, right? So very, very, very impressive supports that we faced down here. Okay, team. So if there could be an upside, I think we have the targets. I'm not sure that we can reach all the way back up to the mean here, but this is very clearly a bounce from that 2 standard deviation multiplier from the mean, which is 550, right? The 2 standard deviation came down to 522, and now price is reverting from there, which is only natural when we face the bottom side of these Bollinger Bands, right? So now it looks like we faced that bottom. There is a possibility here of an upside continuation, and yeah. So now let's look at the RSI in several time frames real fast to see if there's anything of immediate concern for us to go over, because oftentimes the price action that we talk about or upsides or downsides that we talk about regarding a specific asset have a lot to do with how momentum is moving, right? So in this case, looks like we have a 10-minute resistance coming up, but when we start to curve that SMA 14, that usually suggests a succession of that SMA 14 to the upside. Now, the 15-minute time frame is very curious here, because the thing is that the SMA 14 is very close to this gravitational zone, right? And what I mean by that is that if you recall correctly, every zone that we have here on the RSI, right? Every pivotal point, these center points, they all have a gravitational area, right? So that would be 2% up, 2% down from the from the pivots there. So in this case, you can actually see that the signal line, which is represented by this teal line, is outside of the danger zone here, right? So it's not in gravitation. There's no danger for it to face this downside like this one did. In fact, it's continuing on to the upside. So upon this continuation to the upside, we can manipulate the curvature of the SMA 14. In fact, this can pull back, and it could actually be that where the price action reaches the gravitational zone here and succeeds the upside of the SMA 14 based on this little area here, right? So that is a very, very speculative thing to observe here, but it is looking like it could be a probability, right? So bi-hourly time frame already suggesting a little bit of an upside, but however, the thing is that when we don't have a very, very convincing upside or downside, this could suggest a little bit of consolidation right in here, right? Since we are in the gravitational zone, pull us down, gravitational zone to the opposing side, pull us up, and so on. Right, same situation here with a 4-hour time frame. In fact, the only time frame that's really suggesting a continuation to the upside is the 8-hour, so which makes me feel that we have some things to resolve within the immediate short-term time frame for a continuation to the upside. So yeah, we have a very nice upside pivot here in the gravitational zone and a bullish crossover upside of that SMA 14 on the 8-hour time frame. So I would like for us to observe the 8-hour up to the 8-hour time frame to see what the potentials are continuing on from there. Okay, team, you know the risks, you know what the deal is from here. Let's go ahead and, do the damn thing. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. Never, 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 never. I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.